Hi guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. In this channel, we do a lot of crochet tutorials, and in this specific video, I'm focusing on this Sunburst granny square. I am doing just a solo color for this one, just for simplicity, and if you do want to see a color change video, please let me know. I'll also be doing a series of granny square videos where I follow Pinterest graphs and just follow them along and then try to see how I can improve it if there's any need for it. So if you want to follow along with me, go ahead and grab your crochet hook and let's get started. Hi guys, so for this tutorial, I'll be using a 4.25 millimeter and just some regular 4-weight yarn. So any 4-weight yarn that you have, you can go ahead and use that. And to start, we're going to do a slip knot. And I am following this graph that I'll be showing on the screen. And it is just a Sunburst granny square. So I'll be following it exactly the way it's pictured. So I'll be doing 5 chains. That's what it says, 5, and then slip knot into the first chain. And I believe alternatively you could do a magic ring, but I'm going to go ahead and follow the graph exactly. So after that, slip knot, chain 3. And then it says to do 16 double crochets into this ring. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this first chain of 3 counts as one of those double crochets. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 15, and then I have my 16th double crochet. So it should look something like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into this first chain that I made and slip knot. And then the next step says to chain 2. And this will count as the first little post, and we'll be yarning over and pulling up 1 and then pulling through both. Which will be the first one, and then it says to chain 1. And then this next little space we're going to chain over, pull up 1, yarn over, pull up 2, and then pull through. So that should give you your first little cluster. Chain 1 in between, yarn over, pull up 1, yarn over, pull up 2, and then pull through. Chain 1, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through. And this should be the pattern that you continue to do throughout this row. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that all the way throughout, and I will meet you back once I finish this row. Okay, so I'm back at the very last stitch over here. And that should be my last one. And then I'll be slip stitching into this first one again. I have that completed row. And then let's see, for the next one it says to chain 3. Chain 3. And then back into this space right here, I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and the graph doesn't show you to do this, but I assume this is what you're supposed to do to close this and make it into a cluster. So I'm pulling up this loop, going into this first chain, grabbing this loop and pulling it through. Similar to like the tulip coaster, if you saw that video. And then chaining 2, it says. Chaining 2, and then I'll be going next into this space, and this time we'll be doing 4 double crochets. 2, 4. Okay, pulling up that loop, and again going into this very first double crochet at the top, grabbing this loop and pulling that through like that, and that'll give you your cluster. I'll do that again, chain 2, and then into this space 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. That last one, just pull up the loop a little bit, go into that first top post of the double crochet, insert your hook, grab the loop, and then tighten, and then pull through like that. So that's what you'll be doing for this row, and I'll continue doing that. I'll do it one more time so you can see. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pulling up that loop, going back to this first one here, and we have that cluster. Okay, so you can continue doing that for the rest of this row, and I will meet you back once we have 16 of these ones. Okay, so I just finished up the last cluster, and this is what it's looking like. You might have to just like push them out this way. They're going to the back, but this is what it's looking like so far. And then I did my chain 2 at this very last one, and then I'll just be slip stitching here. Like this, okay? And the next step, it says to chain 3. Sorry, this graph is a little bit hard to follow, but we're doing our best. So you're gonna chain 3 here, okay? Chaining 3, and then it says to go into the next space, but it might not align, but let's try it. So it says to do a treble crochet into this next space. So treble crochet, yarn over twice, and then go into this space, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2, and then yarn over twice again and do another one in that same space, like this. Okay, and then chain 1. In the next space it says to do a 3 double crochets, so we're going to do that. Two, 3. Okay. Chain 1. Interesting. Okay. And so in the next space, it's just saying to do a single crochet, 3 single crochets, which I'm not sure is right, but we're gonna do it. So chain 1 and 3 single crochets. So just 1. Oops, I yarned over. See, 1, 2, and 3. This is what it's telling me to do. 3, And then in the next space, 3 double crochets again. I'll chain 1, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's looking a little bit strange because of these single crochets. I'm just gonna keep going, and just because we're strictly following this graph I have, just to see how it turns out, and then maybe you could do another one how I would do it. So let's just try it out. I'm going to chain 1, and then it says to do a treble crochet in the next space. I'm doing a treble and 3 of these. And then chaining 3, 3, 3 more trebles into the same space. Okay, and then chain 1, and then it's saying 3 double crochets into this next space. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and 3 double crochets. Oops, I didn't chain 1. 3 double crochets into the next space. Okay. And 3 chain 1, and then 3 treble crochets into this next one. This is the corner again. Trebles. And then chain 3, 3. That's the other corner. I'm not really loving how this corner is looking, but I'm going to trust the process. And we're almost at the end here. 3 double crochets. And yeah, see the look. This is what I didn't want to happen. So right here, so it does end really weird because since we started our chain over here, it doesn't make sense. Now we have this weird gap, which I'm gonna try to fix, but yeah, this corner is just really off. We did 3 and then we did 2 treble crochets, and it just doesn't look like it works. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going here. Let's see, and then I'm going to do a chain, and now I'm kind of out of spaces. So let's see. Yeah, because this chain right here is messing everything up. It should actually be going into this space right here. So this is my result for this. I mean, the only way would be to do a treble crochet into this space, even though there's already this chain here. Let's see if this works. And then just keep pushing this over and do another 2. So 1, That's 2. We need 3. Oops. And chaining 3. And then I guess we would go into this space and slip knot to get our final result. So that's how I'm thinking they were wanting to do this, but this seems like it's really close together. I don't think I'm even gonna block this because it looks really strange. Like it's not even a square, like it's just all over the place. So this is what I came up with following that graph. Not great. I'm gonna go ahead and undo this last row because I feel like we can fix this. I'm just gonna do what I think we should have done. Still kind of guiding ourselves off of the graph, just slightly different. So I'm gonna take this apart, okay? Just the last row. Because everything up until that last row was good, I think. So I'm gonna do it the way I think it would work. And let me know what you think. And I don't think I'm gonna do any treble crochets, just double crochets. Oops. Okay, so I undid that last row. I'm gonna go back into this space right here. Slip stitch. And then what I usually do is chain 2 or 3. So I'm gonna chain 3. I'm gonna do 3 double crochets here. Up. And then chain 2. So I usually do a granny square. And then I'm gonna do 3 more in here. And I'm just gonna do double crochets. I think that would work best. So I'm gonna do chain 1, and then I'll do 3 more in here. And I usually, with my granny squares, I usually don't chain 1. But I wanna see how this will play out because we do need a little bit more space because of the clusters. So this is just my thinking process and we'll see how it turns out. Chain 1. I think I need 3 in between each corner. 2, 3. Yeah. I have 1, 2. I'm going to do 1 more here. And then chain 1. And already I feel like this is looking a lot smoother and a lot straighter. So I think this is going to work. And then that in the next space, we're going to do 3 and chain 2 because this is a corner. 3 more into that same space. Chain 1. And then 3 into the space. So it'd be 3 into the next 3 spaces. And chain 1 in between. So those are the 3 spaces, and then this is the corner space. Chain 1. And then we're at a corner again. Chain 2, 3 into the same space. Chain 1. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. So you will have to block this, but look, this is already looking so much better. It does have a little bit of a curve here, but if you block this and just pull these corners, it should work. At least for what I would want it for. I feel like it would work. You could also do the treble crochets into the corner, and that might make it a little bit more boxed out. But I think I'm liking how this is looking so far. Yeah. And I think I will block this just so you can see the end result. But let's finish it up first. Chain 1, and then we have this last space right here where we started. I'm going to put 2 in here only. 2 double crochets, and then we'll be slip stitching here to connect it. So that should be it. And then we still have that space there. So this is a finished look. What do you guys think? I think this is pretty good. I'm liking this a lot better than how it was. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and block this, and then I'll come back to show you the result. Hi guys, so I went ahead and blocked this Sunburst granny square, and this is what it's looking like. It is a lot more defined now, and you can tell that the edges are a lot straighter. So I did notice and was thinking that if I did do a treble crochet into the edges, it might be a little bit more squared off, but I am happy with the result. And I am thinking of doing a series of just granny squares. So if that interests you, make sure you subscribe so you can follow along and turn on your notification bell so that you never miss a video. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.